Hi, I'm Barb from My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and guess what we're going to do today, Kyle?
What are we doing?
Hey, tell me how you, what kind of a stitch do you use when you bind your quilts?
Well, I used to put them all on by hand.
Oh, we don't do that.
I know. I learned I don't have to.
2020.
Or else I'll use a blanket stitch.
Okay. Okay.
Just a really close to the edge stitch.
Okay, good choices. Let's explore some of those. We are on the Baby Lock Crescendo, and I have this one set up for just a close to the edge stitch. And you can, I should show you, I have my edge joining foot on. And now I always bind my quilts or
here's
top
a question.
stitch.
It's called an edge joining foot. So did you move your needle?
No, I have it in the right hand needle position.
Okay.
So if you look at this, I've got lots of threads in the way.
Okay. They can be cut.
They can be definitely trimmed. But that's going to give me a nice even stitch
and
right
you
there.
wouldn't necessarily do it in black.
No, I wouldn't. So you can see it.
Okay.
So this is the edge joining foot. And I know I talk about this a lot.
Yes.
So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but this has a little flange down there to guide your fabric.
And what do you do? You do it so it guides your fabric.
I do. So I've got my one,
and
the
you just
regular
moved your
straight
needle
stitch.
Position.
Yep, I had it in the 1/4 inch.
That's genius.
I know it is.
I'm going to try that because I'm always trying to just, eyeball it. Not a good idea.
But now see, I'm just lining the fold up with the flange.
You didn't change that.
Nope, I didn't. What do you mean? I didn't change it.
You didn't change the foot or anything. You're going to show us again?
I'm going to show you another one. Let's do a serpentine stitch. Now,
and you're using the same edge joining foot?
Actually, I'm going to go to, I'm going to use the same edge joining foot. I'm going to go to Q13 on the crescendo.
Okay.
And I want you to come over here and see what I'm going to do. So I'm going to lengthen it. And I'm also going to widen it. Look up there what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
Now, I may not use my edge joining foot with this one. And I'll tell you why. Because this is going to be in a different position for, even though that's going to keep my fabrics all nice and straight, this is going to be in a different position for where I want it to be.
What is that?
This is just my regular utility foot.
Okay.
All right. So now,
so you've moved your needle.
I'm going to decide where that is going to land. Put my foot down. All right. I got to put it down this way. Do you see how that's going to work? Now the nice thing, it does, because I've widened it and I've lengthened it. So here is just another choice to bind your quilt. This is Q13.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be like stitching every millimeter or whatever.
Okay, look at that.
Cute.
Is that great?
Cute.
Okay, there's another choice. All right, I'm going to go to just a decorative stitch. Kind of.
So I've got a question.
Yes.
When you put a binding on and you're doing it with machine, do you put your binding onto the back of your quilt?
I do.
And then you bring it to the front?
Yes, I do.
And on the back, are you trying to get it right in the binding?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You ask the best questions.
Well, I have struggled.
Because then I will use like invisible thread.
Oh,
and that will
that's
put it right where I need it to be.
Invisible thread.
Okay,
not
now
the disappearing thread.
No, no. So now I'm in this stitch, and to put that right in the right spot, I'm going to have my regular foot on. I'm going to guide my fabric right down the center of my foot.
Okay.
Because that will divide this stitch.
Okay, you're not trying to get it all on.
No, I'm not.
Oh, and you left it pretty big?
I made it bigger and I made it longer. I don't want a heavy stitch. I just want to bind.
You just want to do some tack downs?
I do. Look at that. Is that fun?
I like that one.
I like that
one
too.
I might have to try that.
All right, now I'm going to go to my serpentine stitch.
Okay. Okay. So when you're bringing it over, are you just barely catching the seam on the front?
I'm going to cover it. So this is the back of my fabric. Okay. I'm going to just cover it.
Cover that.
Just cover it up and try to keep it.
Because you've got invisible on the back, so it won't show, usually.
Yeah, usually. It's really not going to show. Okay, now again on the serpentine, I don't want to lose my wave in there.
But you want it pretty long?
But I want it a little longer because I don't need it.
Okay, and I would test this before you actually stitch.
Definitely, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just sewing a bunch of little samples. See? Now that is going to catch the edge.
And you're lining that up in the middle.
I'm lining it up in the middle
of your foot.
All right, so there are 3 choices right there.
That's awesome.
You got your straight stitch that you can always do. You got your blanket that you can widen and lengthen, and a decorative stitch and a serpentine stitch.
That's 4.
It doesn't have to be boring anymore.
Nice, and you could do it in accent color too.
You could.
Okay,
Thank you.
Barb.